Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Episode 18. I can't believe we're already on episode 18. We titled this one Alien Easter Pyramids, and I have two incredibly special guests. I'm going to ask each one of you guys to introduce yourselves, take a few moments to plug what you're here to talk about on the show. And then we're going to have a lot of fun today. So I'm going to pitch this way. Go ahead.
How's it going? I'm Derrick Ames. I work at Tilty McFlippers in Martinsburg, bartender, manager, a little bit around that. But also I just recently started Jersey Devil Booking, pretty much a concert and event booking, purely for currently as of right now, Tilty McFlippers. We're going to be just going from there. I'm originally from New Jersey, so I took some inspiration from that. Big fan of the Devils, big fan of the Cryptid, such like that. So I figured it'd be a cool idea to go from there, a little different from what everybody else has. A couple upcoming things I have. First, I want to plug my friend Kellen Miller's festival this weekend, Punk at the Panhandle. It's going to be 2 days, this Friday and Saturday. I got a bunch of really great bands going, something totally different that's not in the area as much anymore, or currently. Next thing after that, I got a couple events.
Okay. We've got a sequence to this.
Gotcha.
So you do your loose intro,
Okay.
and we plug Kellen, and then you and I are going to get deep into the events that you have coming.
Cool.
So then we're going to move over to our returning guest, right? Like, please say a few words, and then I want to say a few words, okay? And we'll get with the flow.
Cool.
I'm Michael Maverick, frontman of Michael Maverick and the Chaos Effect. If you like Discount Nickelback, we're your band. So give us a follow on pretty much any social media that you want to.
Michael, we got a bunch of fun stuff with you, and I very much want to say thanks for coming back on the show. For those that this is episode 18. Michael was on episode 1 and 2, and we recorded those way back in August. And I can really, it's taken us a while, but through trial and error, I really do think we have a format coming together. And I think it's been a lot of fun. I thought the first thing that we would do, gentlemen, is we all discussed that we're fans of the Predator franchise. And Predator 6 Badlands is coming out late in 2025, and it will feature the return of Arnold Schwarzenegger after 38 years to the franchise. So I thought we would first take a look at the new trailer for Predator 6 Badlands. Nick, you want to play that?
They watched us hiding in the shadows. But now their shadow covers everything.
I was there when it all started. I saw how they hunt and how the best of us die.
You don't understand. They're not playing anymore. They want to finish what they started.
We thought their technology would make us stronger. But instead, we unleashed something we can't control. I never thought I'd have to go through this hell again.
Do you really believe we can defeat them? You've seen what they've done, how they destroyed everything we once knew.
They're trying to erase us, leaving nothing that would remind them of what we once had.
If we wait, we die. If we do nothing, we died. If we're gonna die, I would rather go down fighting.
They forgot one thing. Here we are, the hunters. They're just the next step on our path. If this is the end, then I choose who becomes the final prey.
Derrick, what's your first your take on that trailer?
I mean, I think it looks pretty awesome. Really going back to the original movies, but with a nice, fresher spin. Obviously better looking and whatnot than they were back then, too.
Yeah.
Looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. Michael?
I think it looks awesome. I'm kind of hyped for the return of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
I feel like you can't really have those Predator movies without having somebody to get down, so you need to have that.
And it's always so cool when you see like an original starting of a franchise coming back to it. Like Ridley Scott coming back from the original Alien, and then he comes back and does Alien Covenant. I always think that's cool. Let's go ahead and take a look. And this is to see just how much film has changed in my lifetime. I thought this trailer felt somewhat dated. 1987 when I was 21 years old. Let's go ahead and play the classic trailer of Predator.
We are a rescue team, not assassins. Now, what do we gotta do?
In a part of the world where there are no rules,
We pick up their trail at the chopper, run them down, grab those hostages before anybody knows we were there. What do you mean, we?
deep in the jungle, where nothing that lives is safe,
You lose it here, you're in a world of hurt.
Showtime, kid. Knock, knock.
an elite rescue squad
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
is being led by the ultimate warrior.
We need the best. That's why you're here.
But now,
What's got Billy so spooked?
there's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man. They're up against the ultimate enemy.
Holy Mother of God.
Nothing like it has ever been on Earth before.
She says the jungle just came alive and took him.
We cannot see it,
No blood, no bodies. We hit nothing.
but it sees the heat of our bodies and the heat of our fear.
Whatever it is out there, it killed Hopper. And now it wants us.
It kills for pleasure.
He was skinned alive!
It hunts for sport.
He's killing us one at a time.
We're all gonna die.
But this time, it's picked the wrong man to hunt.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Century Fox presents Arnold Schwarzenegger. Predator. The hunt begins Friday, June 12th at theaters
You can go
everywhere.
ahead and pull it down. What an incredible cast. Carl Weathers, Jesse the Body Ventura. And I remember, there's this meme out there where, more men say that the relationship with Predator is more fulfilling than their marriage or something like that. Michael, talk a little bit about the film. What made it stand out all these years for you?
Well, I think the idea of the Predator itself being, quite literally the apex predator of something that's absolutely badass that you think can't be killed, and then watching, a movie where humans kill it. It's kind of, it gives people this sense of humanity. When in reality, I think if that was the case, now we're done for. That's it.
Derrick, your take on the classic film?
I mean, it's a movie I grew up watching. My dad liked watching it just because of the cast and such like that. I'd watch it with him. It's just always a great movie. It was so different from everything else I'd seen at that point and whatnot. I don't even remember how old I was the first time I saw it, because it came out before I was born. So it's just almost like a coming of age movie. Hey, it's time for you to watch this one. And go from there.
Yeah. And I love that there's films like that that become a shared experience. You know what I'm saying? I always, at the cast, Carl Weathers, I thought he was fantastic. I love him from the Rocky franchise. And I wanted to tell you this one story, right? 87, when I was 21, I auditioned to be in the film Predator. I auditioned for the role of Billy, and I didn't get the role. And I asked Arnold, I was like, Arnold, why didn't I get the role?
Ugly motherfucker.
All right, this is my new sound effects board. I'm going to use this one to fuck with Michael every now and then. And this one, Michael.
Challenge accepted.
All right, let's get back to Derrick. Nick, can we go ahead and pull up the Tilty logo? And Derrick, this is the part of the show we have all your graphics sequentially. So let's.
That's my fault, John.
I messed that front part up for you.
No, let's start with Tilty McFlippers, and let's talk about what you guys are doing there. And I want you to know, Tilties have been featured on several episodes, and our highest performing show is with Dawn Custer and Andrea Moore of the Slice Girls. We have a picture from Tilties, and it was right after seeing them. So we love your venue. So please share with the audience.
All right, so I started going to Tilties just as a regular customer. I was out with my friends. We went to a place up in Gettysburg because I live in Chambersburg myself. We went out for brunch, have a couple drinks at a distillery up there, Mason-Dixon, one day. And it was a rainy day. We were planning to go and do something outside. Then it started raining. My friends were like, hey, you should come check this place out. I think they'd only been open about 2-3 weeks, like fully open at that point. And I went there, fell in love with it. Matt and his wife, Brandy, were both there. Amazing people. They really built it to what it is. But I mean, it started, and I've just seen it grow just since January of last year. It's just been amazing. Like, it started out pinball, arcade, everything like that. Had Axe Throwing at the time, which has now transitioned to a stage to do live performances. But my favorite thing about it is it's just really the only family place I know of in Martinsburg. Like, it's really built, like the way we talk about it is, it has a bar, but that's what a lot of people aim for with it. But realistically, it's an arcade with a bar. We don't have a time where we tell people they can't be in with their kids. We're starting to run children's events all the time, family-friendly events, keep doing that, and just really kind of push the family aspect of it. Like, every single concert we have is always all ages, because we want people to feel welcome, so children under 12 and under are free. We supply earplugs for children that are there for any time they come to a show, so if mom and dad want to see a band, the kids want to go play some skee ball, play Donkey Kong, do a little ping pong, play some pinball, anything like that, like, there's all those options that are there.
Yeah,
which is really amazing. Like, it's become like a full community-like place. I mean, and I still hear people like, "Oh yeah, I haven't heard about this place," and suddenly, like, and they come in once, and they're just back again and again and again until I start to know their name, know more about them, met their families, and just go from there. Like, it just becomes a place that, like, I feel like it's such a warm, welcoming environment. Like, it's different from anything else I've been to in a long time. It reminds me of my childhood growing up in New Jersey, like going up to the beach, arcades, and such like that. Like.
Right.
There's no other vibe like that nowadays.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. Nick, let's go ahead and pull up the next image that we have with Derrick. This is for Jersey Booking. And please, a lot of our friends are performers. Talk to them about how they can get some time on your stage.
Gotcha. So what I've just first started recently doing, originally we were going to just pretty much build concert booking, like if you wanted to book through the house, or if you were a new startup musician who really couldn't get noticed by somebody like Brandon Wright or Jay with SPK or somebody like that yet, you could pretty much come to us and we would go from there. So like what I very first started doing was we were calling it just Tilty McFlippers Booking. I just had the regular Tilty's logo modified to look like me, because it'd be like, oh, if a musician comes in, they want to know who to talk to, they'd look at the guy who was on the logo. And then Matt and I had a conversation. We're like, hey, let's get a little more unique. Let's put a little bit more of a spin on it instead of just like being locked down, just trying to use the Tilty McFlippers logo. So being originally from New Jersey, being a big fan of the Jersey Devils hockey team, the Cryptid itself, I'm like, Jersey Devil Booking sounds really cool. And Chris Jenkins from Kelowna actually helped me design the logo for me, and we went from there. But pretty much our goal is like to have a house booking. Like the very first thing I started doing was I do an open mic every Tuesday. This week currently will be the 1 week I know of that we aren't going to do it due to pre-scheduled events. But usually it's every Tuesday from 7 to 10. You can just come in, play music, do stand-up comedy, do karaoke. If you're a writer and like do poetry or short story you want to read, you can just come in. It's open to anything family-friendly you can do, and go from there. But if you want to get in touch with me about performing at Tilty's, I have a Facebook page up right now. It's just called Jersey Devil Booking, or you can even just contact the Tilty's page and they'll forward you to me. But going to the Jersey Devil Booking page will be the most direct way to get in touch with me, and we can go from there.
Awesome. Let's bring up, this is a May 13th show that you have coming up.
Yes, I actually, so I've got Brutality from upstate New York coming down. They're going to be playing at Tilty's. They reached out to a friend of mine that they knew were about looking for a place to play on a Tuesday night on their way down. They're coming down from Morgantown. They're heading down to Fredericksburg. They want to do a stop in between. My friend recommended Tilty's as a venue, and we just went from there. Originally, it was just going to be and then we just kind of built the card from there. Then we got Kellen from Grey Matter Splatter. Recently, I had a band come in on a Wednesday night, oddly enough, played a show. We had a slight PA mishap. That would be Absent Habits. They were the ones that ended up closing the show, and PA wasn't working. They didn't have sound. Lead singer, she went up to her car and got a megaphone. and she performed the entire set on megaphone, good 20 minutes or so. And I'm like, hey, I got a show coming up. I'm like, that kind of ingenuity I think would really be awesome. I'm like, the fact that she was prepared for any situation like that, I'm like, let me put you on there. Yeah. And we went from there. And then I do still have one band to announce. They have a prior commitment they have to finish with first, and then I'll be announcing them. And I think it'll be a really great show.
Cool. Let's look at the May 16th flyer.
And then May 16th, so what I have going on is I had Milo from Milo and the Anarchy Farm came in one day, just looking to perform at Tilties and such like that. And so I started talking with him. He does all acoustic. He had another band, which is there. A little hard to see on the screen right now. That would be Lady King and the Aces. They were looking to do a show. I talked to my good buddy Junk Punk, and Danny McCaslin actually is one of my open mic performers. One of the most unique acoustic guys I've ever met. He's funny. He's got a little story before every song he does. A lot of really great originals. Very versatile on his covers, too. So I'm like, hey, let me get these guys thrown on here, especially since Milo and Lady King and the Aces were both acoustic acts. I'm like, let me grab two of the better guys I got and throw them on there, put together a little show we got coming up, and we're going to go from there. I'm trying also to not just do either metal or punk or acoustic or something like that. Like, I'm trying to really branch out and hit a little bit of everything to get people to come in, check Tilties out, bring their families.
Who's in Milo and the Anarchy Farm? Who's Milo?
I've only met Milo. He was a gentleman who came in. I know he knows Matt, the owner of Tilties.
Okay.
And we've been speaking a little bit. He was just looking for a set. And we went from looking to do a show. I looked up a little bit of his music, and we went from there.
Cool. And then let's look at the last still that we have.
So, actually, this is about something that's really near and dear to my heart. This is going to be a show that's going to be on May 2nd at Tilties. I was speaking to Adam Fry from Big Hug, and he also does Juicebox Entertainment, about wanting to do something like for the community, like do a food drive show. So we put together a show. It's going to be on May 2nd. So you come into Tilties. We got 6 performers for that. Let me just grab this thing and rattle off who we have on there. So for that show, we're going to have Danny McCaslin, as I mentioned. He's going to be on that. Big Hug's going to be on there. I have Smoke Rings, D. Calhoun, the band Diversitile, and I just actually added the Kellen Miller to that show as well. He's going to be doing an acoustic set as well. So we're going to have 6 bands. Pretty much the entry, everything's going to be donated. You either come in, you're going to give 2 to 3 non-perishable food items, go right in the boxes, or it will be a $5 cover, which will then be donated as well to pretty much help the food bank buy stuff that they might not have donated as much, feminine products, toilet paper, diapers, wipes, paper towels, etc. And really just try to help the community, help people who need help. With the Power Music, we got a really cool venue. I mean, I figured it'd be a great place to do it, too.
Yeah,
But those boxes are already set up at Tilties. Even if you want to come make donations now, drop food off, you're more than welcome. Come bring those in, and we can go from there.
Sounds great. All right. Thank you, Derrick.
Yeah.
We did this one at the beginning, but let's go ahead and do one last shout out.
I just want to mention again, speaking of Kellen, I just wanted to, my friend Kellen Miller, he's running Punk in the Panhandle this weekend over at Bad Habits. He pretty much put together this really great punk festival, and he's just going from there. I mean, it's really great for the community. I mean, it's not an area that you'd think of for like festivals, especially not punk rock, realistically. And this is, I believe, his second year that he's been running it, and he's just taken off. He said as of right now, he believes it's pretty close to sold out.
Cool.
But but since he helped me get my open mic night going, I'm like, let me help him out too, because I mean, I'm friends with a lot of these bands now too.
We're really good friends with Kenny Ballstank, who was on the show. Kenny Ballstank from Cosmic Halitosis, and Matthias Henry were on. That was a fun episode. We looked at the case of Dr. Frank Olson. So now Michael Maverick back on the couch after 16 episodes. So what's been going on since we last saw you in August, Michael Maverick?
Well, Michael Maverick and the Chaos Effect has been busy. We've released 2 songs, Everything But My Name and What I Want. We currently have another one that we're working on. I don't want to spread too many details of it, but it's a fun one. It's about being white trash and getting chased by the cops. It's just stupid.
I love
song.
it.
Yeah, it's just, but it's fun. It's upbeat. It's fun. It's catchy.
I love that shit.
That's what we're all about.
Let's take a look at the first graphic that we have for Michael. You have a show coming up. Let's talk about that.
Yes, sir. So we are playing on Saturday, April 19th at Morse Burgers in Catonsville, Maryland. They also like to call Catonsville Music City, Maryland. They have all sorts of awesome music stores and instrument stores, and it's really cool little downtown area. I haven't seen the guys in Red Bullet in a long time. Not since the beginning of Cannon Hill. I haven't seen the guys in Red Bullet or Heel. So
Hold this image real quick. Now, this is the current lineup of Michael Maverick and the Chaos Effect.
Correct.
Let's talk about, give a shout out to every single member on the bill, and of course I'll start with Derrick. We love Derrick Sword. We really appreciate. We had a great episode, and I definitely want to have Derrick back. I know his big passion is aliens, so we're going to talk a little aliens too. So let's talk about who you have playing with you right now.
Well, Derrick's on rhythm guitar. He's a solid rhythm guitar player. Takes a lot of influence from Megadeth. Big Megadeth fan he is. He looks exactly like Dave Mustaine, so, go figure.
Yeah.
On bass, I have Dave Shank. The dude is a fucking unit. I mean, the dude is a fucking unit. I mean, he plugs in this giant fucking spaceship-looking pedal board thing that he's got and just gets it. And he's an awesome bass player. And, of course, the man giving the bump and the thump, Darren Young, that dude can play drums. He went to school for jazz drums, but he's a metal drummer. I mean, first of all, the loudest drum kit in the area, hands down, bar none. He's endorsed by Spawn Drums. He's endorsed by Collision Drumsticks. He's been playing for a long time. He was in Soulless. He was in Lovey. And now he's in my band as well. So I like to think I got the best rhythm section in the scene. Not trying to pat myself on the back, but those two are awesome.
Let's go ahead, Nick, if you don't mind, and let's take a listen to one of Michael's songs. Yeah, we can pull up the next. This is for a show that you have coming up. This is Friday, April the 25th. You're on there, right? You're playing this.
We're down there at the bottom left. That's also at Morse Burgers in Catonsville. The guy who books it down there, Brian Smith, he's a good friend of mine. He's an awesome guy. He also books at Zen West, and I believe there's another venue he does. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. But he works pretty tight with Frankie Everly down there in the Baltimore area. Felt Side Out, Glass Fall, Made from Meteors. I don't know much about the bands. I've never met them before, but I'm excited. I've heard they're all good guys. I've heard their bands are awesome, so I can't wait.
Catonsville would be a real fun place to play. UMBC is right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I went to film school there back in 1993. Let's go ahead, Nick, if you don't mind. Let's play a Michael Maverick song. This is, and then we'll take a look at the last flyer that you have.
Don't come to me with innocence. Leave that shit at the door. Just like the clothes on your back. Leave it on the floor. We'll quiet our screams with our hands. If you'll just fall in my arms and surrender to me, let me lay you down. You'll forget everything but my name. Every touch sends you out of your skin. You melt in my hands. So for tonight, you're in bed alone. Tomorrow brings a new plan. Take my body as yours, sink your teeth in my skin. If you'll just fall in my arms. You'll forget everything but my motherfucking name.
Fucking awesome. All right. Fuck yeah. Let's talk about the song, a little bit about the production, and then we'll take a look at that last graphic.
So I want to first give a big shout out to the producer. His name is Timmy Campbell at Vocal Inc. Studios. He just closed down his Hagerstown studio, not because it wasn't doing well, but because he couldn't keep up with it. He now has a studio in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's opening a new one in Nashville. He's an awesome producer. Actually, he did the first Cannon Hill album, and I've been trying to stick with him ever since. He's fucking fantastic. Yeah, so any guys that are looking for recording to get done and you want quality work, get with Timmy, and if he can't fit you in his North Carolina studio, record it and send him the tracks. You won't be disappointed with the mix.
Let me ask, like, the song, who wrote it? How do you guys go about that process? And how long did it take to boil it down to this final cut?
So my band pumps out songs like that. It's crazy. I've never been in a band like this where I'll just play something and Darren will go, oh, that's cool. Here's a beat to it. And then Dave's like, oh, here's my bass line. And then there's the song. You know, all I got to do is take it home and write lyrics. The lyrics, you know, we try to be a fun band, you know, like we take it seriously, but not too seriously. Like we write songs about like partying or, you know, we have some that are on the more serious side. We like songs about getting ass and just, you know, having a good time. That's kind of what that song is, you know, it's kind of like a sexual gratification with a partner that you feel and, you know, whether it be male or female or whatever, you know. The riff came about because I was actually on a kick. I had just come back from, surprise, surprise, a Nickelback concert. I just come back from watching that concert. The opener was Brantley Gilbert, and I thought that he had a really awesome guitar player that he was simple, you know, the power chord progressions, and I always really liked the simplicity. So that was what I did, was I took power chord progressions and just kind of did that song, and then the lyrics just kind of came to me, and everything just kind of fell into place with it.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Let's take a look at the last graphic that we have. And how can, talk about this show, but also like how people can follow you and follow the band.
Yeah, so this is a show that I'm putting together at Bad Habits. The sound is provided by Bits and Pieces Production. That guy's really awesome. He does some great work. I believe actually he might have done sound once or twice at Tilties.
Yeah, he did the last Kaluna show we had.
Yeah.
He did the sound for it. He's amazing. Dwayne's really professional. I love working with him. Shows up hours before this everything. He runs through everything, makes sure everything's dialed in perfectly, just to make sure everybody's getting what they're paying for.
Yep.
Worth every penny.
The openers are really good friends of mine. Damian, I met those guys when when Cannon Hill played the State Theater in Havre de Grace. We played with them at the State Theater. They're absolutely awesome guys. They are a really fun band, fun guys to be around. Anxiasha, everybody around here knows them. Good friends of mine. I love those guys. You know, I've known them for quite a while now. And then American Dharma, hell, we go way back. I mean, you know, me and Chris McKinley and Jesse Neal, we go way back. So
I've known Chris since 2010.
Yeah.
He was part of the Occupy Martinsburg movement. We stood in the streets in the freezing cold in 2010. Crazy times. We're going to get into, we have, here, let me try this. This is the conspiracy part of our show, right? This is where we're just going to relax and have some fun. Just when you thought you knew everything about the Great Pyramids, there's some new crazy discoveries. So bring up our first graphic that we have. I wanted to give a shout out to this. I like this guy's channel, What Lurks Beneath. He gets into a bunch of paranormal stuff. He's a good storyteller. So I thought we would use a 3-minute clip from the piece that he did on this, and we have some stills. So, Nick, let's play out those 3 minutes, and we'll do our first little discussion about what's going on with the Great Pyramids.
Is where it twists again. These structures seem to connect pathways that led deeper underground, beyond the pyramid itself. The second revelation is where their claim starts getting really hard to believe. As they followed these pathways with their radar technology, they said they discovered 8 massive vertical cylinder-shaped structures underneath the pyramid. Enormous tubes, each about 35 feet across, which is wider than a city bus is long, descending straight down into the earth. And they weren't just going down a little way. According to the researchers, these shafts plunged to a depth of over 2,100 feet. Just to put that in perspective, if you stacked the Empire State Building on top of itself, it still wouldn't reach that deep. Let that sink in for a moment. I mean, we're not talking about finding a new room or passage inside the pyramids. That does happen every few decades. We're talking about structures that make the pyramids themselves look tiny by comparison. Imagine if someone discovered that the Statue of Liberty was just the top of a structure that extended a half-mile underground. That's the equivalent of what these researchers are claiming. If they're right, everything we've been taught about ancient Egyptian capabilities is completely wrong. The question isn't just, did they build this, but how could they have possibly built this? With technology we believe existed 4,500 years ago. And these tubes were stranger. The team claimed they featured spiral pathways or staircases winding around their sides, almost like a DNA helix corkscrewing down into the darkness. Biondi told reporters he couldn't believe what he was seeing at first. He just kept asking himself, are these just reflections? Are we seeing things that aren't really there? But when they ran the scans from multiple different angles, the structures kept showing up consistently. They even had artificial intelligence analyze the data independently, and according to them, the AI confirmed exactly what they were seeing. But the third revelation is the one that really pushed this whole thing into the realm of science fiction. According to the team, at the bottom of those massive vertical shafts, more than 2,100 feet below the surface, they found 2 enormous rectangular chambers, each one about 260 feet on each side, basically the size of a football field, and were connected to the 8 descending tubes that fed directly into them. Between these chambers was a smaller structure with what they described as a bright central point, and they claimed that the bases of the tubes showed the brightest vibration signals, indicating they were designed as connection points. But even that wasn't the end. They said their scans showed additional structures continuing even deeper, water circulation systems and geometric grid patterns with 90-degree angles that looked like Roman cities beneath the entire Giza Plateau. Malonga wasn't shy about what he thought this meant. He told everyone that what they were seeing wasn't just random tunnels or natural formations.
We're
it was
at,
an
close
entire...
to 3? So that's the core of this new discovery. Michael, before we started talking about coming on the show, had you heard about this stuff that's going on in Egypt? I mean, almost everyone's covering it.
Yeah, I heard about it, and at first I thought it was like that clickbait bullshit, you know, horny singles in your area want to meet you now type thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't believe it at first, but then I saw more and more and more and more. So I finally got curious, and I looked it up, and I was reading it. I was like, there's just no fucking way.
Man.
There's no fucking way.
It's some pretty mind-blowing shit. Derrick, same question. Had you heard about it prior?
Yeah, I heard about it a little bit here and there. I mean, I think the first time I remember reading about it was probably on Facebook or Instagram, like on April Fool's Day. So, I mean, I'm like, probably just a hoax.
A joke.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been hearing about it forever since I was a kid. Oh, they're spaceships. They were built by the aliens. They were built by this. They're whatever. And just a million different things have gone on more and more. And then I started looking into it more once we started talking. All seems really interesting, actually, about it and going from there.
Nick, now you have the graphic up. This is one of the images from their study. And what was fascinating is they didn't do the study in Egypt. They actually do the study in Italy, and it's all done with satellites, right? Like they're beaming stuff. Let's take a look at our next graphic. Scientists who discovered vast city underneath Egypt Giza pyramid reveal new secrets about mysterious structures. We were listening to the what lurks beneath about it. Let's go to the next one. And this is what they claim to have discovered, right? And I was thinking, I work in construction, and this is what you would do to build a skyscraper, right? Like you would make columns down into the bedrock. So it, engineering wise, it made sense. But I mean, I've never believed that the humans, aliens designed it. Aliens, we did their work. That was always my view on the pyramids. Michael, your thoughts on ancient aliens and their involvement in Egypt? Is it possible?
It's kind of hard to think that it's not. It's kind of hard to think that they're not a part of it. I mean, think about, just the pyramids themselves. I mean, these blocks were 2.5 tons each. And the quarry that they were getting it from was over 50 miles away in the desert, no water, no nothing, so, and everybody's, pulleys this and levers that. You cannot get enough manpower back in the day, that era. You cannot get enough manpower to do that. There's just no shot.
Derrick, your thought on the
I mean, I kind of agree with the quarries and such like that being that far away, but also you go to a lot of different cultures from that era even. I mean, they're all doing the same thing, and not just even with the shape of structures. The gods they worshiped were all very closely connected, or all seemed similar, all worshipped about the same thing. It would be like, the bird god is the sun, in places in different continents, different cultures, thousands of years, if not longer apart, and such like that, who all seem to have very similar symbolisms. Like you'd have the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Egyptians, all had pyramids, obelisks, and all worship fairly similarly. Like they were kind of like showing like, this is what you have to do.
When you getting ready for this show, I looked at a couple of clips from Ancient Aliens and thought about including them, but we get struck every now and then with copyright infringements, so we have to edit it out. We don't want to do that. But just the amazing precision inside of like the king's chambers, the use of the hardest stones on the planet, granite, diorite. And then when you go around and you talk about all these other ancient sites, it's also the same thing, like these incredibly difficult stone materials. And again, I work in construction, like we don't use a lot of stone, So believe an ancient man would build with stone has always been slim. Let's take a look at the last image that we got. This is the scientist that put this study together. There's a lot of stuff going on online. Anything you want to say about this, Michael?
I just think that the level of technology that we have accrued, over the course of, the past 5 years, let alone the past 2,500 years, is remarkable. And the fact that we can discover this with radar and satellites and all that, it's amazing. It's nothing short of remarkable.
Sound. And they were talking about how sound runs through granite, but that makes sense. Sound runs through granite.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Derrick, your thoughts?
I thought it was really interesting with how they found everything using SAR instead of a ground penetrating radar. It was really interesting too. They're trying to take a whole new approach to stuff, which also gave them more than ground penetrating radar would, which normally only go about 40, 50, maybe 60 feet at the maximum. Meanwhile, they're looking 2,800 feet deep, and they're using it to discover all new things and new options, which could teach us a lot about cultures. Like some of the other stuff I was even reading is like there might be libraries, histories down there that was stored to pretty much be like, hey, this is going to be important, and it could teach us something totally different about the ancient world that no one's even thought of before, which sounds really cool.
Yeah. And I think that for me, it's one of the fascinating things too, is like when you think something is finite, that, we don't know shit, we're just continuously discovering. Is this board on? Yeah, it is. All right. I like that. Michael, let's bring this to a close. I want you to plug some stuff with how everyone can follow Michael Maverick and the Chaos Effect. And then I got to tell a story about a show I was at with Michael.
All right. So 2 things. One, Michael Maverick and the Chaos Effect. If you want to follow us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the fun stuff, right? We're on all the good stuff. Secondly, a lot of people have been asking for it. A lot of people have been asking questions and wondering what happened. Fear not, worry no more, wonder no more. Cannon Hill is back. We are back in full swing. We practiced last weekend, and it was a great time. Trent's back. Dakota's back. I'm back. Jeff's back on bass. And also, we do have one more surprise up our sleeve at some point that I'm not quite allowed to talk about yet, but I'm amped.
No, that's awesome. And, I know Trent. He's a lot of fun. We love Dakota. So I look forward to seeing you in both bands. Derrick, go ahead and how people can follow you, anything that you want to close with.
Sure. First thing I'll say is Tilty McFlippers is on Facebook and Instagram. Following us there. We'll always be posting about other stuff as well. Then my new booking page for any musicians, anybody who wants to know about upcoming stuff going on at Tilty's, that's going to be under Jersey Devil Booking. That's going to be on Facebook as of right now. I'm working on getting an Instagram started. I've got stickers on order soon, so I'll have them too. Anybody coming in, once I have them, I'll just be handing them out like Halloween candy. It's just to get the name out there and go from there. I mean, it's a booking company I'm planning to focus on making or helping musicians first and foremost, and just especially helping new people out, like people who are musicians, performers who are looking to get out there, just getting started, or even really big bands. I mean, like I mentioned Danny McCaslin more than once. I mean, he's a guy I met at our very first Tilty's open mic, and I'm just taking him all over the place. He's one of the most original people I've ever met. We go from there. But then again, I've also been in talks with Ectoplasm and Monolith, and they're going to be coming and playing at Tilty's in July, on July 11th. So, I mean, I'm just kind of going all over the place.
No, that's awesome. We all have the Easter Bunny ears on because this is our last recording before Easter. We're going to
panty droppers, baby.
Yeah, I love the pink ones and the little psychedelic ones. We're on break till after Easter. I'm going to be on vacation for a couple of days. I'm going to test out. Okay. So I was at Bad Habits, and Michael Maverick was getting hit on by some hot chick. And Michael dates this wonderful, wonderful bartender there. Her name is Kimberly Turner. Love her to death. Been trying to get her on the show. And I witnessed the following when this happened, this hot girl hitting on Michael Maverick.
Get away from her, you bitch!
There would be no words, just violence.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Once again, episode 18. Thanks, Michael. It was great to hear your song. I wish you nothing but success. Same, Derrick. I hope things go really great for Tilty's.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Nick, you want to go ahead and bring us out?